Well, well, well. I can't really see. Okay. I think I'm loud enough. It looks like things are working. Oh, it's a zip tie hanging out. I was like, what kind of crazy ass bug is that? It's just a zip tie. So, I've not focused this camera yet. I need to do that. There we go. Focused. Need to cut this cigar down. You have to excuse me. I just ate my dinners. And it was tasty. It worked tasty. Hey, hey, how's it going? I am currently working on something very, very important. Utmost importance. Lighting my cigar. It's funny though, what a creature of habit people are. I think critters in general. I have a cigar lighter that I can use in the forge, and it lights up super quick, but I always go back to an actual lighter. All right, now that that's out of the way, so, hey Jeff, I've been working on, excuse me, let me drink my 89-degree Gatorade real quick. It's been sitting in my truck for the past few days. This will be tasty. Actually, I don't mind. But, there we go. Better. Wash them biscuits down. The swing out over the weekend, I finally finished it. I kind of finished it up on Thursday, Friday. For the most part, I kind of spent some time on it then. And then Paul came out Saturday night. I don't think I worked on it much Saturday night. I think, what did we do Saturday? We did stuff. That wasn't it. See, Paul forged out a spring swage for the power hammer that we can use for, here it is, that we can use for sizing. Oh gosh, let me try to remember. Quarter inch, 3/8 and half. You can see it got misaligned at some point. That doesn't matter. What matters is the forging area. And we've tested it, works great. If this bugs me, can always cut it, grind it back. But, so that's what Paul did Saturday night. I don't know what the hell I did Saturday night. But anyways, the swing out is done. I'll put this over here. So the swing out is done. I got that finished. I was gonna, like I said, I was gonna try and do that on the stream, but really I didn't. I wanted to make sure I had time to get that done in time for quad state, because I want that on my forge for quad state. This forge is gonna get moved, and a forge that we're currently using as a workbench is going to get moved into its place. The only caveat with that is I need to, and I can show you guys, but yeah, this one, I'm pretty sure is using no supports underneath. So the only caveat to that one is I have to fabricate up, it's not a big deal, but I need to fab up a way to mount my blower onto that forge, because currently it has no means of doing that. This blower will technically work on any other forge in the shop minus the cast iron one and that one. But that one I will likely never take anywhere, so I thought I should just put it back, because it was the one that was originally here. So I should just put it back and just get that thing. It's good and gone. So I need to either run some stringers on the forge table itself in the frame, 1-inch square tube, spaced how this one is spaced, which is probably what I'll do. That way this frame, or the mount for this, technically will slide out of this and then slide back into the other one. So that'll be the easiest, I think. We'll see. But the swing out is done. I got it. It is fully functional. I don't know if I have a good way of showing you guys, but I'm gonna try. Let me go grab it. I just don't know how it's going to translate on the camera. Otherwise, I should have just drug it over earlier. I need to turn it around. I need to turn it around. So I want to put it right here for now. Can you see it? Yeah, you can see it. Sweet. All right. So, for those who have asked what a swing out is, this is it, if you can care. That's why we call it a swing out. So, this is, I think it was marketed, but dude in the back of a truck, as 5/8 coil spring. So it's got plenty of strength and flex. You know, it won't take a bend or anything, so it'll be able to hold up a significant amount of weight. To be honest, for these types of swing outs, I think 5/8 mild is probably fine. 1/2-inch coil spring, definitely fine. But the idea behind this is very similar to the squirrel cookers, if you've seen those. It's just a friction hold, and as you apply weight to one end, you hold that up. I don't know if I have something readily available to hang from that. Well, I'll look while I'm out and about here in the shop. Oh, you know what? I mean, it's not like the heaviest of things, but I can hang this thing off of there. So like right now, it's very touchy because there's no weight on it, right? I mean, the only weight on it is itself. But if I move it up, it's just going to slide down. However, if I move it back up, apply weight to it, it's pretty stable. You know, I'm not going to get it down. So, and being that there's nothing on this forge, it'll hold some weight, but not like a lot. But the minute you put the fire pot on here and then load the table at coal, you're talking 100 pounds easy. So it can hold quite a bit. I mean, I'm sure if you pulled it out here and torqued it, actually, I think if anything, the bolts that are holding it in are just 1/4-inch bolts. Those would probably give out more than anything else. But you could probably apply enough leverage to this to kick it over. Why you would do that is beyond me, but I mean, you could do it, I guess, if you wanted to be a dumb shit. But hey, you know, if you want to be a dumb shit, I don't want to ruin your fun. Anyways, like I said, so as soon as you remove the weight, that will drop back into place. And then when it's at rest, it is out of the way. And when I need it, if I need it to hold something up, this is not a great piece. Here we go. Let's say I need to hold this big bar wrought iron in the forge. I could just bring it up, and then there we go. Now, with these, like anything else, the more level your platform is, the better off you're going to be. So anytime when we set up remotely, I always make an attempt. 90% of the time, I make an attempt to level everything out, but before we really get started. I don't necessarily go back and redo it later once things have settled, but it's usually not too far out of whack. Which is why we don't put feet on these forges, and which is also why the other forge I mentioned, I would probably never leave the shop, or it would probably never leave the shop, is because I put feet on it thinking I was smart, and then we had to level it, and then I suddenly wasn't so damn smart. Without feet on these, the legs can bite into the dirt. I mean, if you're on concrete, in theory, it should be relatively level. But in dirt, like crushed asphalt, things like that, you can actually drive these down and level your table off. You want your table level, you want your forge level, you want your vise level. Anything that you're working on, anything that you're going to be working on, in my opinion, should be leveled out. It makes things a lot easier. Yes, you can do it without having to level stuff off, but you're going to be a lot better off if you do level it. But anyways, as you can see, I can use this to support a bar that I want to work on. If it's, there's a lot of weight on the back end, I can swing it out even more. I chose to put this one on the left side for a very particular reason. This is like my mobile station. So I will be using a hand crank blower. And what I found is if it's on the right side, it has a tendency to want to push you out of the way unless you really open it up. So then it pushes you out of the way of the blower. This way, it's not really doing that. I can get in here and work it, and it's rare that I ever need to open it up that far anyhow. So hopefully that made sense. I'm sure most of you guys know what I'm talking about. If you know me, you probably know who Brian is. So you've probably seen these things before, and I'm sure that Brian's not the only one that's ever done it. The other nice thing about hidden feature, by the way, you can hang your stew pot from the swing out over your forge table, and you've got a nice cooking platform. I've actually thought about making a little grill that hangs up with chains. No, I could grill over here too, but I got a stove. I'll just drag it with me. But yeah, there's that. I'm gonna leave it up here, but I am gonna move it. I'll leave it though, so when all the late people show up, I can do all that again. Oh, I know what's wrong. Uno momento. Bluetooth. Let me go. I got to do the thing. I was like, why isn't it? She's not talking to me. She's not talking to me. Let me go fix that. Okay. Oh, I know what else I forgot. God damn it. Hey, Jeff. Other Jeff. Other Jeff. We got to change the settings. What do you want, Mr. Man? What does Benny want? I have no more bacon for you, buddy. You have reached your bacon quota. All right. So, let me go back. I just need to test the voice thingy. So I'm going to come over to Facebook. And I will come over here. 32 plays, but that's interesting. Okay. Let me reset this. I hate doing that. I should have. Erg. Okay. So I don't know who's watching. I don't know if anybody's watching. Oh, wait a minute here. There's Sansa. So we got. It used to show me. Can you hear me now? I can hear you. I can't hear you in the chat thing. I don't know what's going on. I'm not going to dig with it. It's not that big a deal, really. The only time it sucks is if I don't see the comment on my laptop, on my tablet, and then I accidentally refresh it or something, and then it wipes the whole chat out, and then I'm like, ugh. Oh, I know what's wrong. I know what's wrong, y'all. I have to go into here, and then I have to go to this thing. No, it's notifications. Notifications. That's it. All right. So, did you just add the Shane to your YouTube name? Or, no, I didn't. I felt like I didn't see that a minute ago. It's actually a good idea because sometimes I'll come out here and I'll be like, I don't know. I know who that is, but I don't know who that is. Like, I don't know. I can't remember that person's name. Getting old sucks, y'all. I just want you to know that. I used to have a really amazing memory. Now I'm like, I'm getting to that Joe Biden era of not knowing what the shit's going on. So, you saw me drag the induction forge over because that's kind of what I intend to use. It's kind of warm out today. And then also, I'm going to move this. Oh, right on. And then she's talking again. I was going to use the coal forge, but then I'm going to move it, so I need to break it down. I'm not doing that tonight. Plus, I got to move all the steel that's on that table. We bought enough steel to make 2 Revolution Gen 5 grinders. Paul and I did, and we cleaned all that up Friday and Saturday. I think Paul on Sunday cleaned all the weld seams up. So that's sitting over there in 2 stacks. I gotta figure out what to do with it. I know what I'm gonna do with it. It just, the problem is in order to deal with that problem, I have to deal with another problem. and I'm really not looking forward to that. So it's just, this is what happens when you neglect things in the shop. My fabrication table, if we want to call it that, is completely, and I mean completely, covered in junk right now, because it became a staging spot for all the other stuff I moved, and now I got to find homes for all that crap. So I've been dreading that, and it's been so damn hot that, to be honest, I haven't left the house too much. Come out a couple times. It's not too bad tonight. Earlier today it was pretty brutal. Yesterday it was goddamn brutal. I came out once yesterday and I was like, nope. Went right back in. So I started to work on this, and then I stopped myself. This is a piece of, it might be easier to see what's going on down here. This is a piece of aluminum.
Was planning on going to Quad State this year, but had needed hardware. Gun and bill was $5,000 more than expected.
So, wait, $5,000, what? Oh, yeah, that sucks, dude. So a piece of aluminum that I started forging. I was gonna just do a leaf on it, and then I stopped myself once I realized, I was like, oh, I could just do this on the stream. Y'all can watch me burn this on the stream. Aluminum is very easy to burn, and an easy way to tell what your temperatures are is to use, and don't use pine, use a good hardwood. This is a hickory wedge, and you can see I've already been using it to test with. Once it starts scorching, once your piece starts, smoking, then you know that the aluminum is hot enough. But there's, outside of that, I mean, it's kind of hard to tell, and it doesn't really give you a lot of warning when you've reached that critical state of stop. So I'm gonna come over here and touch this thing. I'm gonna put this in the induction forge as soon as I turn it on. So this chiller was at 80 something degrees when I came out, sitting at 69 degrees now. So let me get my checker. Nope. How's it going? Heating up some aluminum. Almost there. Hey Bart. So yeah, you can see it, it's just scorched that little line right there. So it's plenty hot at this point. So, oh yeah. starting to get stiff. That means it's about time to put it back in. One of the nice things about aluminum is how long you can actually forge it. Hey, Kevin. So yeah, aluminum can be really fun. It can be very frustrating too if you're just getting scraps, because you never know how well it's going to forge, if it will forge at all. So at this point, it's already hot, so I want to be careful. Good to go. I don't know how far I intend to take that. We'll see. It's thinner yet, so I got to be even more careful when I'm putting this in the induction forge, because again, you don't get a lot of warning. One of the fun things to me about aluminum, and one of the things that also sucks, is how easy it is to forge. And you can see your hammer marks really clearly. But if you miss, you can see your hammer marks really clearly. There we go. All right. I'll taper the back end out later. I want to leave that relatively thick on this end, and then I'm going to flatten this end out So all that hard work had made my cigar go out, though. So I'm gonna have to relight this bad boy. Also, it does not feel like these are the right tongs for the situation, but it's what I really kind of got. So I'll try a tong clip, see if that helps. Okay. Just kind of cleaning this up a little bit. Get my wedge back out. Wrong side. I feel like that was good. We'll see. We'll see. We shall see. Oh yeah. There we have that. Let me get a fuller. So I hit this in a couple spots where I did not mean to. I don't know how well you can see that, but I did. Yeah, dude, not gonna make quad state. That kind of sucks. We'll have to beat on some steel for you. All right, because I hit that, I'm gonna have to drive this a little deeper. Just so I know where I'm at. Ain't terrible, ain't great. But plenty of meat to work with still. Oh, trying to shock myself. Kidding. Tongues are getting warm. Kind of got away from you a little bit there. Aluminum. Gotta love it. Fun stuff. So let me get a ball puller out. I'm gonna have to take this out to the stump. I'll be right back. I'm gonna get a little warmer. That should be good enough. We'll see. I'll be right back. Well, if I can put it where I want it, that'd be handy dandy. Well, I think I broke it. We'll see. Can't really see what I'm doing out here. No, I didn't break it. There's the leaf-like object.
Trail bus 55. What the heck, Shane?
Hey, Dan. So, like I said, aluminum will show you every hammer mark. All the hammer marks. You get them all. And there's where we are with that. I don't know how much thinner I'm willing to take this. Let's find out. I'm doing all right. Oh, can I get the leaf out? Oh, barely. That's as thin. That's as thin as I'm willing to take this. Hey, Greg. Yeah, Dan. Ellen Durkin is really good at that kind of stuff, and all of her models are good looking too. So it's like an added bonus.
Dan Russ. I haven't made any. No, I've seen it on social media. Interesting stuff.
Okay, it's really thin now, so I want to be very careful not to melt this at this point. And usually, if you hold it at this point, as thin as it is, you'll see it start kind of fading. And the reason I'm heating back here is that, you know, that heat will travel. And it buys a little extra time. All right, I think that is probably going to be as hot as that needs to be. Let's see what happens. All right. These tongs are not holding. Those tongs will not hold. Oh no! Oh no! Here we go. I'll just use some scrolling tongs. And if I recall, I did not fare well doing this last time with aluminum because of that. It does not like that at all. That's okay. That's okay. Just do it the old-fashioned way. Though I really kind of wish I had some better tongs for this. I'll go find some better tongs for this. Like these right here. Yeah. I'm trying really hard, and it's kind of failing, but I'm trying really hard when I knock this around that there's plenty of air between it and the anvil. Otherwise, you're forging it and putting big dings in it, and probably putting big dings in it anyways. But it's just it's fun to play with. Let's see. I could probably switch to the other camera at this point. Not the prettiest scroll in town, but it's whatever. It's whatever. I don't care. I don't claim to be no aluminum smith. It's just fun to play with. every once in a while. It can be frustrating to play with too, especially when it especially when it tries to melt on you. At that point, it can F right off. Why I keep reaching for that? Yeah. That's still a little stiff. That was still a little stiff. There we go. Too straight right in there. It needs a little winky wink, little wonky dinky. Something. It needs something. Probably needs me to stop dicking with it, really, what it needs. See, y'all, I do use a crossbeam from time to time. There are times when that comes in handy. All right, I'm gonna stop messing with that. I'll show you where I'm at. So there's the, come back here. There's the ringy dingy. And then, I don't know, keychain? Kind of big, honestly. And the tablet shut down because this stupid screen. Urgh. Okay, anyways, so yeah, that's where that's at. Let me clean it off real quick. I'll be back. I'll put it in my super duper solution. Super duper solution. All right, let's see. Could actually sit in there a little longer. well, a bit longer, but so yeah, anyways. This way. No, I'll swing over this way. I think there's better light over here. So yeah. Aluminum. Anyway, I did have one agenda tonight because I had somebody ask me about this on the Facebooks. Let's see if I can find a piece of material that I can do this with. Doesn't have to be super long, but I also don't want it. I want to be able to hold the damn thing. I don't know what the hell happened to this, but this will work. If I can get it hot. Piece of 1/2 inch. I have no idea what these bends are about.
Dan Russ, have you ever made actual roots or you forged a roots cut?
No, I have zero desire to play with, I don't even know why they're calling it Woods, but pseudo Damascus. It's just not my thing. They should really just call it something else, in my opinion. It's called Woods for a reason, and I don't think anybody in that region is making woots anymore. But at the end of the day, no, even like pattern welded, whatever you want to call it, whatever the vernacular is this day and age. No, I just don't have any interest. I mean, there's nothing I forge that would really warrant that type of material. I mean, because if you, like, for instance, let's say I make a Damascus hammer or something, right? If I make a Damascus hammer, who's going to give me $500 for it? Because that's what I'd have to charge with the amount of work that goes into forging a billet like that. That's not the greatest bar in town, but I'm going to quench this off if I can hold it again. And then we'll get to what my agenda. Cool enough. It's not that I don't like blades. Like I've got one I've been working on forging wise. I lose interest after about 10 minutes, so I move on. And I maybe at this point 45 minutes into the forging aspects of it, and it's mostly a knife at this point. It's just all the other work that goes into it outside of forging that I just not interested in it at all. I'm gonna go find my hammer because, well, this is my hammer, but this is not my regular hammer. There it is. It just feels so weird to use a different hammer sometimes. I guess if I used that, that wouldn't be a problem anymore.
And drugs. I don't find out is that the grinding bell fuel.
But yeah, doing like a Damascus pattern, anything, like I've joked about making a pair of Damascus tongs. Somebody else would have to make that Damascus because it's a lot of work, and I can appreciate the work that goes into it. It's just, again, unless I'm doing it for myself, I mean, who the hell is going to pay me $300 for a pair of regular old tongs just because they're Damascus? But I mean, if you account for the amount of time that you put into making the Damascus, it's about what you got to charge. Buy some of that Pakistani stuff. I'm just going to quickly cut this. I'm not shooting for perfect, but you do you. That's just an example. Okay, so maybe I did go for perfect, or close anyhow. But yeah, cut the center, ring it off. You don't need to cut it all the way off. It's how you get hurt. It's how people get hurt. Don't be that guy. So the question is how do I forge? How did I forge the flower on the end of this bar? And the person was like, you know, interested in doing it. So I told him, I was like, oh, you just isolate the material and then forge it hex and then go from there. And he was like, forge it hex? How the hell did you do that? So even forging always produces a good hex, but I figured I'd show that. But then I thought, oh, you know what? There's another technique of doing the same thing in the middle of the bar that I thought I wanted to show too. So I'm going to try to do 2 flowers on here. We'll see. I've only done that a couple of times. I mean, the 2 flower thing. I've done the stupid flower enough times that I should be ashamed of myself for the ugly stuff I've produced, not poo. Well, I kind of poo-duced it. Technically, yes, I did poo-duce it. So first thing I'm going to tell you is this step far easier. Well, not this one, but a lot of this can be done on the edge of the anvil. But if you don't have good edges, use a guillotine tool. So I want a fairly sharp edge though. So I'm going to go here. Then I'm going to turn it so I can see it. This is just like doing a leaf at this point. Now I'm going to come down to a more radiused edge. So now I need to extend this taper. I don't need to do it much, but on this anvil, I'm gonna have to, in order to pull off what I want to do, this stem has to exceed the width of my anvil. It doesn't have to do it by a lot, but it has to do it to a degree. So, and at this point, these steps are essentially, minus forging the taper on the end of the bar, it's the same thing as doing a leaf. So I'm going to heat up where my forging started and stopped. Because that should be enough material to get me there. If not, I'll show you how we deal with that. All right. So now I'm going to bring it back over here. Shoulders up. Shoulders up. Now I'll bring it back a little bit. More radiused edge. Anytime you're working on the opposing side, this side shoulders should be up. Hey Greg, you going to Cole Saturday? That's the plan, yes. I got something I need to pick up. Ordered a couple things, and Francis called me, I think it was last week, told me it would be ready the next day, and he was going to ship it out, and I was like, dude, I'll just come get it. I will just come get it. But anyways, also I want to get this stem across the anvil to do, well, a variety of things, but the next flower, I need access to work on it, and if this stem's in the way, if it's not across the anvil to support itself, that's going to be a problem. So. I didn't switch cameras again. God darn it. I'll do that this time. Almost there. Almost there. I don't know. That's fine. I was kind of like, I don't know if I want to take it that thin, but it's an example. We're going to take it that thin, y'all. We're going to do it. So I'm reaching kind of a point on this coil that the material is getting a little too thin for that to heat it up effectively, or efficiently. It'll heat it up, it just takes it a bit longer to do it. And it's like 3/8 square or something right about now. Sitting in a 1 1/4 coil. All right, that's gonna be good enough. Got a rhombus, so I'm gonna fix it best I can right now. There we go. I know I have a rhombus because I can feel my hammer skipping out on me. Almost across. I don't even think I'm going to worry about it. It's still rhombus a little bit. I don't think I'm going to worry about it right now. It's almost across the anvil. I think rounding it up will get us there. And anytime you have, from my limited experience, anytime you have a rhombus that you're struggling to get back square, just take it round. Sometimes just a full reset is really the best approach. I'm going to try and eke out a little bit more. Oh, I think we're there. We are there. All right. Cigar died on me. Okay, I just need this warm enough to round it up. And that's, to be honest, that's probably fine. I don't need it perfect. Hey y'all, this stuff's a lot tougher than that aluminum. There's my lighter. I was wondering where that went off to. Okay, let's get to the flour. I'm trying to think of the last time I did this, and I think it's been over a year, this style. So we're gonna get it hot. We're gonna put it on the diamond. We're gonna smush it. Kind of like a Jolly Rancher. That's all we need to do. Maybe a little bit more, but. So that's where we're at. We just smushed it. Hey, Dustin. So we'll get it hot again. And this time we're going to work on forging the hex. So get that. We're going to come over here and not do that. That was a terrible hit. You can also do it this way. I just, for whatever reason, don't like doing it like this. And the idea is to get it the same, right? So you want your angles to be about, well, you want them to be exactly the same. Not about, exactly. So I've got one side's a little longer than the other, which is telling me these angles aren't the same. And if you look at it, you can see it. Not this style, Paul. I was hell-bent on using flat bar for whatever dumb reason. And then I got stubborn about it. So anyways, like I said, one side's longer than the other, so I need to figure out which side needs a good hit. And to my eye, it's this side. That's better. That's a lot better. Still not perfect though. It's, hey y'all, it's me. It ain't gonna be perfect, I can guarantee you that. But we're getting there. So once you have this done and you fiddle with it to your heart's content, getting it as perfect as you can, there's gonna come a point where you just either have to move on or give up. I'm at the move on state of this. Now you notice I've left it plenty thick. I mean, it's every bit a 1/4 inch. I'm gonna cool it off though, because it's getting toasty, and I need to put it between my legs, and I don't want to scorch my bits. I know you guys would love that, but I would not. So I'm gonna cool it off. So the idea here is we're gonna attempt to put a flower. Oh, you can't see. Oh, wrong camera. We're gonna put a flower down in here somewhere. So at this point, you just decorate this end however you want. I'm not gonna do that right now. So I have the piece I need here. So what I need to do now is isolate that material so that I can do the same thing here. So let's try to do that. And it's the same thing, really. You're just leaving this piece attached. It's almost the same exact process. I don't know. I'm not going to say anything. But yeah, you're going to put a piece of, you're going to isolate this material. So remember what I said, shoulders up? Do that here too. I want maybe a little bit more than that. There we go. Yeah. Okay. There we go. Get that hot and just keep working it down. I'm not going to do the whole stem. You know what I'll do? I'll hit it with the power hammer real quick just to kind of get us there. Well, after I finish setting this down. Because you kind of need that material out of your way, the quote-unquote stem area. You need that kind of out of your way as you're working on this. I mean, I'm sure you could do it, but it's a lot easier if it's out of your way. Oh yeah, I am rocking the rhombus tonight, baby. Oh, I hit it. I think that's good enough for now. We'll do the rest with the power hammer. Alright. Across the anvil. And this doesn't really need it, but it never hurts. Alright. So we got a little blob. We're going to call him Blobby. Now it's time to forge Blobby down. Essentially the same way we did the other one. And don't worry about the orientation of the flower itself right now. If you rounded it up decently enough, and you can still forge it back, you can twist it and you'll never realize it unless you leave it. Then you'll realize it. So I'm going to put the shoulders up and then just flatten it, just like we did earlier. There we go. I'm going to take these edges over a little bit more than I did last time. And that's what we got. And you could, hell, I mean, technically you could do something with that if you wanted to. Now, I will say, this is a lot trickier than a flower on the end of a stick. And I've only done it, I haven't actually done this in a long time. So let's try it over this edge and see how we do. No. No. No bueno. Sharper edge. There we go. Had I centered that top stem up, this would be a little easier. But I did not, because I am me. I can work around it, though. So, cheap. And kind of round it up. I have an idea. Is that a crack or is that scale? Well, it's a cold shut. That's okay. Example. I ain't saving it for anything. Got a little excited with the power hammer, I think. So, here's that. I tell you, I did not expect to come out here and sweat this much. It's crazy. That's crazy. So I'll need this. Oh, I'm not going to do that. Anyways, on this, had I tapered this in more and centered it better, getting to the hex would have been a lot easier. I don't know why I got that out. But it's the same basic idea. And then you could do whatever there. You could also leave that in place. So you could leave that in place and then do one on this end, and then you can use this as something as a platform to weld to, or you could forge that into a flower-like object if you wanted to, or whatever. The all-seeing eye. You just got to play with it. I haven't done that in a long time, and even when I did it a couple of times, I mean, I didn't do it a lot, but I was never that great at it. But that's the general idea. It's just, you got to do it and practice at it. It is 9:22. I think I'm going to call it, guys, because it's brutal out here. I think I'm going to call it. So I'll catch you guys now on the next one. And I'm going to go in and not sweat for a while. I thought it would cool down enough that it wouldn't be so bad, but this is brutal. I mean, I don't feel like I'm doing anything, but I'm just pouring sweat.